Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. I recently came across a startling statistic in America for Mother's Day. The average gifter to their mother spent $274.02 on a gift for their mother. Those between the age of 35 and 44, you know, the ones who say that they don't have enough money, they spent $382.26 on average per person for their mothers. Collectively, Americans, you. See, I'm not an American, so I can make that differentiation. Spent $35.7 billion on Mother's Day. And the most of this amount was directed towards cards and flowers. In our map, there's a powerful statement. Yat kritakam tat vinashyam. Whatever you create will also be uncreated. I'm startled by this because this is a clear indication of how materialistic society is. Startling. All of these materials are actually harming our Mother Earth, correct? For the sake of a single mother, and that too for cards and flowers that will decay in a day, in a week. Yesterday, I completed parenting culture for the year, and I shared with all of those caregivers the vision of this space for caregivers is to care, to nurture that which is immaterial. Maybe for 20, 30, 50, 80 years, you've been investing in the material, but it will be uncreated. If you really care, you will nourish that which is immaterial. That's your inner world. Yesterday, most of you would have read our bi-monthly e-newsletter. I think 2,000 seekers receive it. And the main thought shared was that when you offer dana, you're giving up your materialism. And what does dana facilitate? Daya, that which is immaterial. Please reflect lots on what are you doing with your lifestyle? Are you the Duryodhana who chose Shri Krishna's armies? Or are you the Arjuna who chose Shri Krishna? You can't have both. Shri Krishna never gave that option, correct? And whatever you choose, You know what happened to Duryodhana. You also know what happened to Arjuna. He went from being cracked to being content, just like Shri Krishna. The more you love an entity, a person, the more you want to be like them. That's a good gauge of how much you love your mother, how much you love any person, is you want to be like them. And that's why in chapter 12, there's a great emphasis on values. Shri Krishna is Bhagavan, the one who has all virtues in all ways. If I love Shri Krishna, I will convert these values into virtue, so I'm like Shri Krishna. Relatedly, whatever entity you love, whatever person you love, you want to know more about them. Chapter 12 is about bhakti. Chapter 13 is about jnana. Specifically, the asi part. Here I am, Prince Arjuna. There Shri Krishna is. How can I be Shri Krishna? By knowing more about how what separates us is just conditions. Names, forms, qualities, but the locus, the Atma, is the same. The more you love Shri Krishna, the more you will want to know about Shri Krishna, the more you will feel the only differences are on the surface, not in its fundamental sense. In this chapter, in verse 0, Prince Arjuna's as-if question is, what is Prakriti? In English, matter. And Shri Krishna responds, he doesn't answer this first, he answers this fifth. He answers this in verses 19 and 20. I'm reading to you what I and our team wrote in terms of the application for this question from our book on Prince Arjuna's questions. Listen carefully. Matter, Prakriti, refers to anything that can be observed. Yet, that which pervades all matter as existence, consciousness, and joy is termed as the spirit or self, Purusha. From an absolute perspective, both Prakriti and Purusha are eternal. At a more relative level, our body, mind, and intellect equipments compromise Prakriti, while the life force that enlivens these equipments is Purusha. Just pausing there before I continue. If you can try to visualize that Purusha is electricity and Prakriti is your computer, which is more valuable? Please don't say your computer. If yes, you're the person who spent $35.7 billion on materials. While our equipments experience constant change, the life force within us remains unchanged in all circumstances. When we identify ourselves with Prakriti and the changes that occur to Prakriti, our inner peace is disturbed unnecessarily. If we divorce our identity from the changing Prakriti and identify with the changeless Purusha, we will reside in an invincible, unshakable peace. In this really lovely book, a reflection is given also. Here's your reflection. Why do you Continue to identify with your equipments despite observing their changing nature throughout your life. Shri Krishna now begins to answer, what is Purusha? This is verse 21. Purusha prakritisto hi bhungte prakriti jan gunan karanam gunasangosya sadasat yoni janmasu. Joy. A simple yet direct verse. Purushaha prakriti staha hi. Indeed, the Purusha is established in Prakriti. Indeed, Purusha is the foundation for the function of Prakriti. Pausing here, a visual that many of you have seen before, but may not have reflected on. Some icons or images in Sanatana Dharma is of a being that is lying down on the ground. Tends to be more dark blue in color. That is Bhagavan Shiva. And on him is another being that is very energy, movement oriented. That is Bhagavati Parvati. This visualization is sharing is that they are the same. One is manifest, one is unmanifest. Shri Krishna is sharing the same without a visual in this first quarter. More about their relationship. Bhungte, which means to enjoy. Prakriti jan gunan. Prakriti cannot experience itself, cannot enjoy itself. It is the Purusha that experiences and enjoys the qualities, the change. A reflection for us. All that you know cannot be you. You know your wallpaper. You are not your wallpaper. You know your pen. You are not your pen. You know the experienced, which means you are not the experience. Why do you treat yourself like an object? Society does that with certain types of people in society, correct? We objectify women as an example. And it's awful. But more comprehensive than that is we objectify ourselves thinking we are an object. Chapter 13 is about differentiating. And if one doesn't live by this logic of what I know is not I, third quarter, karanam guna sangaha asya, this lack of differentiation causes one to become attached to these gunas or qualities. That's not even the scary part. That's coming in the next quarter, but I'll elaborate. Bhungte means enjoyer, words that we've used in meaningful mornings. The doer, the knower. The final implication of enjoyer, doer, knower is one feels they are the creator of happiness. You think you can create happiness. That's what bhungte means. Anyone who thinks they can create happiness has forgotten that they are happiness. In Sanskrit, that's avidya. I've forgotten how to be happy. What does avidya cause? Vikshepa. I project my home is the source of happiness. I project popularity is the source of happiness. Now tell me, because I've forgotten, what does Vikshepa cause? What's next in this sequence? There's a lot, but tell me directly what's next. Raga, or attachment. That's what Sri Krishna is sharing here. Avidya, Vikshepa, Raga. When you forget who you are, you project you're going to become complete onto articles, beings, and circumstances, then obviously you're going to become attached to them. Now, the final quarter. Living like this, Sat, which means good, Asat means bad, Yoni Janmasu, the forgetting, the projecting, the attaching is what causes you to be reborn into good contexts and bad contexts. But anytime you're reborn, compared to your potential, it's bad. The more attached you are, the more you will repeat. The more attached you are to a family member, the more you will repeat using harsh words. The more attached you are to this world is going to complete you, the more you are going to repeat being in this world. From inspiration to application, your application yesterday was, are you being a Raja, one who is sacrificing themselves by being dedicated to others in terms of fearlessness? Are you happy with how much you're encouraging fearlessness, or no, you're not happy? This is the point where everyone looks away from me. That is not fearlessness. Pujaswami Tejo Mainanda had shared, there's many who have security guards, bodyguards, and still are so frightened. There's many who live in gated communities with alarm systems and still can't sleep. Don't think that fearlessness is outside. It is, to me, nurtured inside. It is immaterial. Here's your application for this morning. It's hard. I want you to visualize your rebirth. We always discuss visualizing us dying. Visualize what it's going to be like. That if you don't correct attachment, that you're going to be born again, what that's going to feel like. The bullying in school, the conflict in relationships. We don't have to go to the theater for a horror movie. Just listen to Vivek. I want you to visualize this. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.